Hey guys, today's video is going to be the third installment in a series I like to unofficially call, Hey, remember the Harry Potter books? They were great, right? As I said in my Chamber of Secrets video, I would get to Prisoner of Azkaban fast, and I have. Studies show that 9 out of 10 Harry Potter readers think Prisoner of Azkaban is their favorite. That is not a real statistic. Please do not quote me on it. But it certainly feels true. And I can see why. In the scheme of the entire series, Prisoner of Azkaban feels both like a beginning and an end. It still feels like a standalone adventure book like the previous two installments, but you can really see the darkness creeping in and amping up. While I have yet to reread Goblet of Fire, with its character deaths and serious cliffhangers at the end of it, that one really feels like the series is amping into full-on saga mode, which then encompasses the entire latter half of the series. But back to Prisoner of Azkaban. As I ask myself in all of these reread videos, did I like this book on my reread? Did Prisoner of Azkaban meet all of the hype that surrounds it? And of course, my answer is yes. And I think it might have to be my favorite too. And certainly of all the ones I've reread so far, it is definitely on the top of my list. It's just so perfect, this one, I think. It encompasses the whole school year in a way that I think the others don't. You have all the games and details of the Quidditch House Cup, and you just follow the day-to-day class environment so much more closely, as the plot in Prisoner of Azkaban is so much more brooding and contemplative than the previous two installments. It's pacey, don't get me wrong, but rather than going from, the flying car episode to the giant spiders in the Forbidden Forest to the basilisk, or in other words, like one exciting thing to the next, this book has a lot more repetition with, Harry going to multiple divination lessons, multiple defense against the dark arts classes, and these aren't just classes and lessons that are shrugged off in a paragraph or two. There's whole scenes in these lessons, and they're all developing themes and interesting ideas. The divination lessons are, bringing up the themes of fate and prophecy, whereas, the defense against the dark arts classes with Lupin are getting into all of these questions of confronting one's fear and what does it mean to think about one's darkest self. In this book, I really feel like we're starting to see dark, brooding, angsty Harry come into being. Just as he's getting older and discovering more and more about the wizarding world and his past, he's just realizing that he's got so much to be pissed off about. And you're kind of there with him. He has a sort of Hamlet complex in a way. And so the book had so many good bits, from the Bogart to the Night Bus to Hogsmeade to all the Quidditch games. I thought the finale was so awesome when Harry and Ron and Hermione are confronting Sirius Black, and then Lupin shows up, and then Snape reveals himself from the invisibility cloak, and then Peter Pettigrew reveals himself as Scabbers, and it's just so freaking claustrophobic and intense, and you're just like, I don't know, I just remember going back and forth in my seat, just being like, holy crap, this is just too intense. And then all the time travel stuff that happens afterwards is just so kick-ass and cool too. I particularly liked the way in which Harry thinks his father saves him from across the lake, but really it's him summoning the Patronus. Right here, you can see, summoning the Patronus of the stag, which was what his father once was able to transform into. So it's as if Harry's actually summoning his father to come and protect him, which in some ways is like this beautiful thing, but then it's also just so freaking sad because generally Harry doesn't have a father to protect him. And it's just, the layers in this book, man. And finally, one last scene that I really loved. It's a minor one, but I totally forgotten about it. And it features my two favorite characters, Ron and Hermione, and it's set during the Defense Against the Dark Arts class that Lupin is away for because he's sick as a werewolf or whatever. And Snape is asking all these questions. Obviously, Hermione knows all the answers to it, and Snape gets irritated, and this is what happens. "That is the second time you've spoken out of turn, Miss Granger," said Snape coolly. 5 more points from Gryffindor for being an insufferable know-it-all. Hermione went very red, put down her hand, and stared at the floor with her eyes full of tears. It was a mark of how much the class loathed Snape that they were all glaring at him, because every one of them had called Hermione a know-it-all at least once. And Ron, who told Hermione she was a know-it-all at least twice a week, said loudly, "You asked us the question and she knows the answer. Why ask if you don't want to be told?" I just love it, Ron coming to the defense of Hermione and the irony of it, and you can just sort of see the affection between the two characters beginning to come into being in this one, despite the fact that they're squabbling almost the entire time. And it is just, it's so good. So yeah, guys, those are my thoughts on Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Please let me know what you think down below. Is this your favorite Harry Potter book? Do you think it's overrated? And what was your favorite part in it? Please, I want to know down below. If you like this video, please like it. And if you really like this video, please subscribe. Until next time, happy reading. Bye bye bye. Expecto Patronum!